this week's Parsha, we learn about the end of Yaakov's life. He gathers his grandchildren to his bedside, and specifically he calls Yosef and his two sons, Menashe and Ephraim, and he gives them a famous blessing. He places his hands over his two grandchildren, Menashe and Ephraim, the grandchildren that were born to Yosef in Egypt, and he says to them, Yisimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim b'Chamnashe, that all Jews will always bless their sons. B'cha Yivarech Yisrael, all Jews will bless their sons by Yisimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim b'Chamnashe. May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, why out of all the grandchildren of Yaakov did he single out Menashe and Ephraim for such an exalted status? The Jews all around the world, and indeed that's the case, the universal custom when people bless their sons, that's the blessing they say, Yisimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim b'Chamnashe, may God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. What was it about Ephraim and Menashe that made them so unique and special that they were singled out, that they became the gold standard for this blessing? So it's interesting to note that Ephraim and Menashe were the only grandchildren of Yaakov that were not born in the land of Israel, were not born in the shtetl. All of the other grandchildren of Yaakov were born in Israel, the land of Canaan as it was known back then, and they grew up in the environment of Torah, and the environment of spirituality of Yaakov. So it was much easier for them to grow up to be righteous, whereas the two sons of Yosef, the grandchildren of Yaakov, Menashe and Ephraim, were born in Egypt, a land that was alien to the values of Yaakov, a land that was steeped in idolatry. And yet, despite it all, Menashe and Ephraim remained steadfast in their belief in God. Menashe and Ephraim remained steadfast in the core values that Yaakov had taught Yosef. And because of that, Yaakov knew that throughout history, we would be similar to Menashe and Ephraim. We would be growing up with the values of Judaism, yet placed in a society that is inconsistent with those values. And he wanted us to go ahead and follow the path of Menashe and Ephraim. Folks, it's something to be very cognizant of, as we are all in a way like Menashe and Ephraim. Yes, we are Jews that have been imbued with Torah and spirituality by God, but we are sometimes in a situation in a society that the values are inconsistent with those. And we have to remember to follow the path of Menashe and Ephraim. Have a wonderful Shabbos.